up, and it's hard to catch up in the afternoon, but it's really good stuff. Okay, so it's nice to try and catch up over the weekend with personal warm-ups. That's good. If you have any personal goals that you are willing to share with us, this live chat is a totally appropriate place to do that. I know it's sort of a little bit risky, and I'm working on developing that public trust, but it's, you know, if you feel like you want to share, 3-month goals, where do we see ourselves in the summer, 3 short-term goals, 3 long-term goals, like 5-year goals, like in my mind, 5-year goals. Am I even still playing the guitar? But after, coming through that New Year's resolution, I'm going to resolve to play more guitar this year. Some of us will naturally drop off, and that's okay because we'll still be able to have fun with the guitar. And others, some of us will continue on, and we'll just, continue to do the 260-hour a year sort of program and see what we have for gains to show at the end. Kevin, good morning. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start right out. Figures 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and Tico, good morning. Good to have you here. Thank you. Well, I just can't practice as much as I want due to having a 3 and 8-year-old that's always on my mind. I was just thinking about that this morning, I was just thinking about that. So we have beautiful grandchildren now who are a little younger now, couple little ankle biters running around. And to leave probably what's happened is I'm wondering, because we have those visitors, should I leave my stuff laying around in the parlor and risk them getting damaged? So I'm careful about that. I put everything in the case, keep everything sort of out of the way. Trip hazards are gone. Let's take a look at figures 2 and 3. 1, 2, yeah, I realize, I remember being, in that blur, having a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old, and life does grab us by the bullhorns once in a while. And I resolved to, basically bring the kids and involve the kiddos, for better or worse, in everything that I was involved with. If you bring me fly fishing, they'd be my fly fishing companion. My little big man was always ready to go. And my little big girl was always ready to go. And so when we founded and directed a conservatory of music for a couple of years, they were right there. And they watched all of it happen. And they learned musical instruments, and we had our teachers teaching them. Because Dad can't teach them anything. So I've found it's really fun, though, to, we're just kind of getting back to that point where, and stick-to-itiveness, and 1 and 2. That stick-to-itiveness really does pay off in the end. Just to be playing the guitar and having the kiddos witness it. I bought a pile of ukuleles. We bought probably 20 ukuleles for one Christmas, and then we just gave them all out. Everyone got the same gift. We've got we practice Christmas in this house, and it's a very merry experience. But maybe we just give everyone a ukulele, and it was exactly the same model, and it was exactly the same instrument for everybody. Now, the little kids, little people run around with those things like they're rock stars all over the house. And it's just a fun thing to do, just give them the, $20 ukulele, even $40, $50. And that way when they break a tuning peg from it, it's not that big, But it is, I remember those days being very busy, and it's like, don't blink, man, don't blink, because it's all done, right? And I used to hear all these old timers tell me that all the time. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. 1 E and a 2, stretch 3 and 4, and 10, well, that's 10 and 12, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. I do have some exciting things. 1 and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. Now, if we want to go through this warm-up exercise, because the last thing I want to do is alienate anyone who, would like to be here. And so 2 ways to do this, these are the God's honest ways to approach it. Woodshed and practice like a banshee while we're not here together. Or we can go ahead and, bring it down a few clicks. If we bring it down to 40 beats per minute, I think my metronome will get down to 40, and that's still a reasonable practice tempo. It's not unreasonable to do that. And then 50, and then we all creep up together. But I think it's we'll work this out. I'm going to dive back into the comments here in just a moment. Fingers 2 and 3, these are feeling really good and really stretched. And a 2 E and a, you know what to do. Yeah, and we're just rolling through it. Yeah, the personal warm-up thing is just, we have to, what I'm finding, Marlon, good morning. Yeah, it's one of those things that, we end up making choices, right? I can't possibly do all of the things that I want to do in my lifetime. That's just the, there's so much life to live. There's so much to see, so much to do, so much to love, so much to praise and just wonder over. The fact that, anyone is here at all, paying attention to the guitar is somewhat of a miracle in my mind, right? Let's do fingers 1 and 2. So we've got fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 5. But otherwise it's going great. That's good. That's why this routine is so great. You'll be surprised at how much you improve with a small amount of daily practice. You got it, he tells himself. Oh, to be talented as Uncle Jason one day. One day the goal is to, get way beyond where I'm at. And I definitely appreciate the sentiment, for sure. But one of the things that makes, contributes to my joyfulness is, and knowing that there is, I'm working through Victor Wooten's book at the moment called, what's the name of that book, Raoul? Yeah, here we go. Oh, I think I need to stretch after that one. I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't typically stretch this early. This is all, we had another busy early start, and I wanted to let you know while I'm in the stretch mode here that we do have some potentially exciting news coming up, and it might benefit all of us in this group, and probably possibly a large market share of guitar practitioners worldwide is my guess, right? So I have an email communication rolling with our good friend in this live chat, Mr. Tortorello, and it's a very exciting time to just be practicing the guitar. Just a wildly exciting time to be practicing the guitar, especially when we're all standing around wondering, what's the point if AI is just going to basically create all of the next generation of music. And so I'm not, I think I'm a firm believer that machines can aid and assist, but I really believe, maybe it's just the generation gap in me that says guitarists and musicians, like human musicians, aren't going anywhere. There might be an even larger demand as we move into the future for those of us who sort of like specialize, like if you were a computer science engineer, or computer engineer, like if you know how to write and communicate in COBOL, that might be a valuable skill to have. It's one of those things that I don't think it's going anywhere. I think now more than ever, the imperfection of man becomes more important, because as computers and artificial intelligence becomes more and more perfect, the imperfection of man becomes more, it bubbles up from the bottom. It really starts to mean something new, as we move forward. So I firmly believe that we have a really exciting year coming up. And regardless of whatever our goal set is, we're not really in a hurry. E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4. I'm going to relate it to just these finger exercises. 1 E and a 2 E and a 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, there's so much talent in this live chat, and just to be here practicing the guitar in a morning ritual, sort of like very focused way. Whether I'm keeping up, I used to show up at these bluegrass festivals, and I was just starting to become interested in bluegrass, flat picking guitar, And after typically what will happen, this is such a great family-oriented experience, because you stay there for a couple of days, a weekend or a week or whatever. You bring your good fiddles and guitars and your good attitude. And the next thing you know, you're watching, some really great players that have come from outside of our local circles. And then, when they're done playing that night, they're still camping out there. They're camping out there with you, just like they're on your level. They're at your same. There are tents set up all over the fairgrounds or wherever they host these things. Tents. It's just a great lights, People are grilling food. They're doing kids are running everywhere. 1 E, 2, 1, 2, 3. For it's 10, 11, 12. 1 E, 2, T, E, and and so you can run around and perform, like play with all of these musical giants that, and learn from all of these wonderful, wonderful people. And turns out the kids love going. The kids love to participate in that kind of stuff. It is just wild. But, as a beginner, a neophyte in any discipline or any approach, even if we're re-approaching something, which, every day is a new day for me. It's okay, I found it had to be okay with me because I couldn't keep up with the speed that I wanted to. I had all of these wonderful ideas, like flat picking, bluegrassy ideas, but I couldn't keep up with where they were at, and so I'd strum more I could. The chords were changing like crazy timing. You know, all of these things were just happening. It was all brand new to me. You know, relatively brand new. You know, when the rubber meets the road, that's when things get real. You know, you have to drive within your own capacity, otherwise there's injury around the corner. So it's okay, I found out, it's okay to just sort of stand around with the guitar in hand and observe until you can just jump in. And that it definitely happens. It definitely happens, you know, so that's a really cool thing to look forward to for me, you know, fingers 2 and 3, 2 and 4. Don't blink, man, that's right. I gave my nephew a uke a couple of years ago, nice, very good. My goal is to practice 5 hours a day. Wow, that's awesome, man. Manico, I'm so glad you're here. One of my personal goals is to practice at least 5 hours a day this year. That's remarkable. Those are remarkable. Those are lofty goals. And so I wanted to speak to that a little bit. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm falling a little behind in the live chat. I apologize, but some of these points are really just resonating, hitting really hard this morning. Fingers 2 and 4, and we're doing the stretch. We're using frets 9 and 12, and 1 and 2 Z and now my shoes. Here we go. Yeah, so what we do is we set high goals for ourselves. And sometimes I'll set up, unknowingly, I'll set up a situation of failure. And, you know, I have to become okay with failure because failure happens frequently, you know, in a lifetime. In my life, certainly, you know. There's a high level of potentially, there's a high level of reluctance to do anything if we're not okay with failure. So I always said, you know, just getting with the guitar for 5 minutes a day is a really important thing to do. Because then if I sit with the guitar for 5 minutes, you know, I'm there for an hour. If I can get there for 5 minutes, I can sit for an hour. And that hour will blow right by without even, you know, without even any thought. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 and 3, 9, 12. So it's a good idea to, I have to work up to those things. I have to work up to adjusting, you know, it takes me weeks to write a plan, to write a new schedule for my day-to-day operation. Like if I'm changing from, let's say I'm changing from, you know, like running high-level political activity to, you know, to playing the guitar for, you know, my daily operations, writing songs for my daily operations. I have to rewrite my entire plan just for my personal plan. But now I have to, you know, consider and respect for all of the other moving parts in my life, you know, parents' health, you know, is this going to be, you know, consistent with what my wife expects from me? Is it, you know, is it going to model good behavior for my children, you know, and their children? So there's a lot that, for me, that goes into like building a daily ritual, a daily practice. And then number one, like after beyond the obvious things that I just said, like the next thing I think about is it good for the community, right? And if it's not good for the community, then I probably won't do it. You know what I mean? So there's that. Sometimes it gets pretty simple for me, you know, thank God, because it's 6 kids, fully grown, 12 grandchildren. Holy smokes, someday you'll play music with the grandchildren, highlight of my life. Yeah. Woo. Now you're hitting the feels button pretty hard this morning, Mark. That's great. Can't wait to see what your nephew does with that uke, man. Keep checking in on him. I'm sure you do. anybody that stuff. Good morning, Marlon. Again, yeah, don't blink. Let's go ahead and get into the 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises. 1E and 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 4E and wanting is way more satisfying than having. Oh yeah. I'm dropping the wisdom bomb again. Just a wonderful time here. I have more. Wait. Alright, so. Yeah, you can only drop so much wisdom at once, you know. You gotta let it soak for a minute. Robbie Smith lots of laughs. Good morning. Definitely got it. Not naked. Putting on my shoes. There it is. Yeah, you gotta get the feet dressed before we play the guitar. If you're just tuning in, I guess this is as good a time as any to welcome you to the morning ritual for Guitar Grove. This is the live stream where we all meet all over the planet at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to come through a focused approach, a meaningful approach to the guitar, in which situation we find ourselves continuing to be guitarists throughout the day. That's why we do this. That's why we do this in the morning. Good. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretch the fourth finger. And 1Z and 2Z. Yeah, no, my shoes. Stretch the old fourth finger. You will see the mad games. Repeat after me. I will see the mad games. I will see the mad games this year. I will see them. I am seeing the mad games this year. I am living out the prophecy of potential in as these mad gains are delivered to my fingers and my heart and my mind. Those intentions are super important for me. You know what I mean? Those intentions that sometimes we overlook those basic, those fundamental things. And then I have to ask myself, why am I doing this if I'm not here? Am I just here going through the motions? Well, yeah, there's some truth to that. There's absolutely some truth to that. But then there's also we've got Tuckerman in here now. Black and white. Hey, Tuck. Yeah, squirrel. So there's some truth to, the mechanical thing. We have to learn the mechanical thing so that we can't forget it. And then, practically apply our heart, or that music to our, whatever it is we're doing, right? So here we go. Same thing. Just this time we're kicking the first finger back, all right? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Yeah, thumbnails. We have some thumb picking coming up too. So just stick around. But if you're just tuning in, this is a banging live chat. You're gonna love it. This is happening. This morning ritual for guitar happens every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are working through tuning up, we're working through breathing up, we're working through mechanicking up, the mechanical process, we're working through all of those things that we decide are valuable to us as we deepen and expand our guitar practice. like guitar for everyone, you know, would love, you know, he's a great candidate for being a guitar teacher, you know, like opening up a guitar practice and inviting others from the community in to receive the good word. You know what I mean? It's just really, that's kind of like one of the angles, like one of the reasons we do what we can do, so that we can provide folk transfer to others in the community. You know, provide that heritage, that lineage, that important culture to preserve. You know, part of that is our calling, I think. Before we jump into this diagram, we're a little bit ahead of time, and I'm going to take this time to really work out this really nice finger rolling exercise, because we're already doing 4-finger stop. We may as well also incorporate this really beautiful technique. We're going to slow this down a little bit, okay? Because this is just too much for me, and I really want this to resonate. I really want to feel the connection as I move from one tone with the 4th fingertip here. Let's see if I can get a little closer. That fingertip is going to roll from that 12th fret, the E string, up to the A string. So you can see that I have to like smear, it's like I'm putting my little rock climbing slipper into I'm smearing my foot down so I have more place, more friction, increasing the coefficient of friction so that I'm less likely to slip. But that means in order to get that string, I have to be like right up on this fingertip, which is not comfortable. It's not the usual place I would play this, right? This is really, really good stuff. So if we start with that idea on finger number 1, and we roll from that low E string, we turn this up a little bit so you can hear it well. And I'm moving from that fingertip to the same fret, just on the next contiguous string up. And then while I'm holding this note down, that second finger is arched, or barbed, or whatever you want to say, arched. Well, this first finger is like thinking he's still doing the F chord. The second finger is running point to get to the next string, and then roll, finger point. I just want to introduce this concept today. We're not going to play through it, but this is supremely important, the techniques that we're going to be looking at and examining as we jettison into the future. Okay, so here's that nice fingertip and then roll, fingertip, roll, fingertip and roll, fingertip and roll. And then what happens when we get to the top? Then we could do 2 things. We could start with so we were starting with a downstroke. Let me back this up. We have a down and then an up, right? So down and then up, and then down and up and down, up, right? And so on and so on. What we're doing is we're picking on the outside of those 2 strings. So we'll call that outside picking. On the the next descending pattern, we could decide so that we can develop skill in both of those areas, that we do this thing where we pick on the inside. So we have a down, and then we start with a smeared finger, anticipating where we need to be. So we might need to go and reverse engineer this a little bit. Downstroke, upstroke, which places us squarely between these 2 strings with a downstroke and an upstroke. So now we're picking from within the 2 string move. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Just wanted to plant the seed in case you're not doing this yet. You can start working this into the mix if you want. All right. We'll come back to that. We're going to begin this diagonal pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 as we reciprocate this shape into its inversion, and then we descend the pattern. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can hear that we have a leash with some jingle bells on it on the back door, and so somebody, Baxter, is look at this guy. Hey Baxter, what's going on? No, we missed him. But he goes over there and he rubs up against the jingle bells when he needs to go outside. In this world, oh, Steve Clark. Good morning, Steve Clark. We've got some great players on this channel. I'm just so happy. I build AIs for a living. Yeah, very nice. I'm missing some of what's going on, but let's go ahead and do this. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. Good morning, crew. In action, how like a god. A little late today, crew. We're getting hammered with snow for the next few days. Oh yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. I've been moving around since early the wee hours. We only learn from our failures in life, brother, not from our successes. Yeah. You'd think I'd be smarter. In anticipation, how like an angel. Maybe implement a scale in your warm-up. That's a great idea, R50. What do you have in mind? I can play this warm-up at double time now. No way I could have done that a month ago. Are you serious? That's really cool. That's great news, man. Can you play 25 or 64? Oh. 25 or 64. I can sing a little bit of it while we're warming up. If you're just jumping on this morning, what we're doing here is not in vain. It's not for vanity. It's just not. We don't want to just sit here and look good all morning, because clearly that's what's going on. But no, if you're just jumping on board, welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. We are here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for better or worse. Good Lord willing, for the remainder of, for all of 2025, and we actually preceded 2025 by a little bit. And the goal is to put in around 260 hours of warm-up time, something like that. And then take a look back, at the first, let's go to the 4 middle strings. And a Tuesday and a putting on my shoes now. There we go. And so what we're doing is we're going to take a snapshot. Some of us have already done this. Like I know Raul has recorded his videos. I've seen those videos of him following along with this morning ritual. We're going back at the end of the year. We're going to take the last video that we did. It's going to be very exciting because we're going to take that last video that we did, that we do here in 2025, and we're going to balance that and compare and contrast that against what we did in the beginning, the very first sessions that we did. We're going to take a look at how did our technique clean up? What kind of gains do we have? Are we better people? Are we better at rhythmically following and tracking the metronome? How are we with our technique? What has 260 hours gifted us? So we are going there. 1 E and 2 bottom 4 strings and then go. It's been nice to add a couple scales in this morning warm-up. Yeah, very cool. Hit the thumbs up for our teacher. Mostly crazy. Oh yeah, what's going on? Great to hear from you this morning. Thank you for being here. And Flea, I'm hoping my kids see my practice is a good lesson for them as well. Let it seep into their lives and whatever they're right. Yeah, it's a great method for sharing musical appreciation, for fine art appreciation. Is it the same warm-up every day, or do you do chords? Yeah, so this week we're in about 5 minutes, we're shifting into my pentatonic. And so we go through all of the mechanical chromatic warm-ups. Good question. So yes, we're always at 60 beats per minute, so we have, it's like church, it's like a regular thing we could grow to expect. Sometimes we'll do this one, like this kind of thing. 1 iana, 2 iana, we do like, we don't speed up the metronome, but we'll change subdivisions, so we'll work on quintuplets, for example, like. Just to be sure we have all of those things, under control. And then we'll stir right back into the order, 16th note or whatever groupings, or triplet groupings, or, we want to be able to switch back and forth between, note subdivisions. So that's an area of study that we're going to become an expert in over the next, few months, several months. Changing scales, we always will do the same, things, like the technical things, we'll work on finger stretches. Things like this that will help to expand our horizon. But we are ritualistically, like, going through chromatic style warm-ups where we have the basis where we can basically jump on board and we can participate and be somewhat clear about what to expect, but then there's always something new, right? There's always something new. That's a good question. So we have finger picking exercise, finger picking week. We have finger style week. Next week we're working. This week is pentatonics week, and next week we're working on strumming patterns. So we're working on the picking hand. Whether it's rock strum patterns, this is gearing us up, so if we were going into the recording studio, we can prepare ourselves, like, mentally to lay down super clean, if we're gonna walk into a Nashville studio, we wanna be able to record something, like, super clean, right? Like, think Paul Simon's Graceland album, or, Daily Vincent, or, think we're gonna have that kind of level of awareness. I think we wanna generate those high-level things. Those are good questions. I appreciate those questions for certain. All right. What are we looking at for time? So we actually are getting into, we're entering the last quarter of the session, so we're going to review where we've been. Shape number 1 is 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-4, 1-4. So we'll go ahead and work through that. 1 E and 2 E and you know what to do. Starting here at 9, 12. And descend. Maybe who I am, absolutely. It's definitely a calling, an obsession, or both, yeah. There's a dissertation to be written in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure, it's available. Matthews from the West Coast, he wrote a really nice textbook called The Harmonic Experience, Matthew with you. You might dig that, Guitar for Everyone. So true, Anthony, so true. I try to be thankful and grateful for my folks. Oh yeah, like, that's one of the first things we're supposed to do is honor. We want to be in a situation to honor mother and father. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now you're talking about some like really heavy, really deep musical concepts. Alright, so there's pattern number 1. We're looking at, so if we were in A minor pentatonic, if we call that pattern number 1, this would be pattern number 2, which would be major pentatonic. Now what we're going to do is plane that 2-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-3, 2-4, 2-4. Right? We're going to plane that up and down. Right? 1 E and 2 E and join me. Some good Kung Fu, man. I've been wanting to study Kung Fu for a long time. I feel like I'd be good at it after how many times I've watched Crouching Tiger, you know what I mean? Yeah. Kung Fu, the way, yeah. True Mark, I think of us as guitar samurai. Guitar samurai. Yeah, we're talking about getting really good at one thing, you know, which is, it's hard, it can be a tough thing to do with all of the things that we could be doing. I learned from a mountaineer a while ago, 98. Everything that we'll ever need is right in our own backyard. Everything you ever need, everything you ever need is in our own backyards. So that's some interesting stuff to consider. All right, so this was position number 1. Position number 2, position number 3 is this one. Maybe you finger it differently, but I'm working on this shape. It's 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, stretch the 4, no problem because we've already stretched our fingers out hard. And then we move up to that only string with one note on it in this position, this shape, which is the 3rd finger. So 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, stretch 4, 3, and then 1-4, 1-3, like the bottom of. You know, so we're taking that an octave higher. A couple octaves higher, actually, right? Let's go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3. You know what to do.
Nothing's worth something.
Here we go. 1 E and 2 E and A in the left and trying to read and do this at the same time, and it's not really working in my advantage. Sorry. Samurai guitar is cool. Raul. Children are listening, always listening. They are. Yeah. Good thing to remember. And then the next shape, we're going to end with this. We're going to wrap with this today. Hopefully before Kevin has to jump. Really easy one, another easy one. So finger 1-4, 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, 2-4, 1-4. And we're starting in position number 9 with that. 1 E and 2 E and a U. Let's go ahead and start up here. We'll give ourselves a little extra advantage. Position 12. 1-4, 1-4, 1-3, 1-3, 2-4, 1-4. Here we go. 1 E and 2. Let's get a few more legs up there too. That'd be great. 1 and a 2 E and a. to walk through the park, that's all we're doing here. We're not really working on patterns or, we're not introducing, we're just working on walking through the park, just enjoying the sonic space. And the function and the shape, just getting that shape underneath our fingertips is what this is all about. There is nothing else in the world that is really going to matter at this moment because we're just working that shape. And tomorrow, what we'll do, we'll work on that final shape, the final one, and that will be the end. We will come to an end of our pentatonic week. And tomorrow will be the last session that we hold in this room. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but we're going to take a look at what the parlor can do for us. Playing in different rooms also provides different inspirations. Different locations provide different inspirations. For example, state and national parks. Both great places to play the guitar. Maybe we'll pull some live streams this summer from some national parks. Wouldn't that be cool? Long enough, you can do a bunch of different things. Any questions? Let's see if I can catch up with some of the comments. This is great. This is great. So we've actually accomplished everything we need except for the final stretch. And then after this, we do a forward bend. After I put the guitar down, I always stand up and do a few forward bends, and then reach for the heavens, and then just kind of forward bends. And just kind of let those hang, just do some inversions and hang time. Oh yeah, don't you just love watching young kids clean the floor with us? I love it. I love it when young people are playing guitar at such high levels. And then I kind of wonder about like balance and what it took to get to that level. Kids, I think there's the neuroplasticity, or there's a data somewhere, maybe the CDC, or I forget where the data is, but it's kids, younger, juveniles learn at 80,000 times faster than what adults, adult learners learn at. I'm not sure if that's exactly the number, but I think it's something like that. I think it's something, shockingly close to that. Bo's one would think, yeah. Oh, you play a little violin. Traded classical lessons for landscape and work that really got a better end of the deal. Yeah, could build up a lesson. Sadly, I was the only one able to spend 1 year working with her. She taught me always comes back to me, and I think, wow, I couldn't do this if she hadn't taught me that. It's quite a relationship. You get into the John Jorgensen thing at all, where he's doing the gypsy jazz? There's some pretty cool stuff happening here. I really enjoy watching him play, and he always has fine violinists and fiddle players in that group. It's really kind of consistent sound, always well recorded. It's very hard. Like hard played harmonica. How about Piano Man? Oh, hey, we've got a new face here, Manav. Put that story in the live chat. Yeah. I'm not sure which story we're talking about. I missed the Mark story. That's a good story. Hotel California. Oh yeah. know, I've heard that song. Oh, you know what? I've done that song on this channel a couple times, so if you go back through right here at Jason Carey Guitar, you can find that, you can easily find that session, Hotel California right here. We did it, and it's a great one. You'll love it. Let me know what you think if you find it. Like, it's fun, it's always there in the background somewhere. You can hear some back porch stuff. I love the back porch stuff, man. Hey, Abinay, good morning. Let's hear some blues. Yeah, all right. So the blues come back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to finish up with Pentatonic Week. And we're actually we're coming from Fingerstyle Week, so. I used to love those rolls as SRV.
Ah, früher Prophet.
Just a really.
When I came to the city of Berlin,
endless energy coming from him. So, let's see, is there some blues?